As most of you know, I have this tradition every October to watch like horror movies, because of spooky season. Sometimes I review most of them, most of the time I don't. And one of the most overused yet scary if done right horror stories are ghost stories. You have your paranormal activities, The Ring, The Host. All of these are examples of good, from what I've heard, horror stories that use ghosts in them. So I decided to throw all of these out the window and I watched Poltergeist. If you remember the golden age of the 2010s, you remember that there was a lot of horror movie remakes, and all of them were very ass, and Poltergeist is no exception. Let's discuss why it's kinda awful, shall we? Straight up, the plot is the most milk generic shit ever. Maybe the original Poltergeist had the same plot, however, because it's an older movie, so I could excuse it. This movie's plot, though, is not that. You basically have a family who have financial issues that move into a lesser house, and surprise surprise, it's built over a graveyard. Milk generic plot. However, maybe the plot isn't the saving grace of this movie. Some stories have generic ass plots, however what makes the story interesting is the characters. So maybe it's like that in this movie, right? Well,
Hey pal, you just blowing from Stupid Town?
so for the most part, I like the family's interactions. I like some of the family members, specifically the dad. He's the down but not out for the count type dad, the guy who is always down, makes sarcastic jokes, but he has a gold of heart.
Hey, she has a job.
Excuse me?
You kids are her job.
Get all that on your time-lapse camera. So much for my luck.
I don't know, I just like dad types that way. And the mom was fine for the most part. Interaction between the mom and dad were very fun. We were robbed of what could have been the steamiest sex scene in human history by a fucking child. Learn to grow a pair and learn how to sleep alone in the dark like I did. As for the kids, for the most part, I like the dynamic between the youngest daughter and the son. Serviceable at best is what I'm trying to say. And the eldest can just burn it out. She's one of those OMG. It's so awful here. There's not even a mall here. And as someone who grew up with Kim Possible and Totally Spies, I fucking abhor this characterization. It's just so superficial and stereotypical of the girl character. I wouldn't mind this stereotype if it was like the villain or she was a villain, but she's supposed to be the hero, the one we are rooting for. How do you expect the audience to like or relate to such a superficial cookie-cutter character? The supernatural department were fine for the most part, as well as the... Wait, I know this face. Isn't she... No way. They got Sister Sage to act into this? How do you go from an average-ass movie to the masterpiece that is The Boys? Anyway, the Irish guy with supernatural powers was fine as well. However, he's not as funny as most Irish characters, which is kind of disappointing, honestly. And that's basically it for the characters. There's this one camera guy who tried to profit off the family's misery by trying to convince them to film and release this footage as like a movie or a documentary, and I'm like,
Dude. Uncool.
this movie falls into the trap of any horror movie ever, which is dumbass character. Honest to God, these characters have the most inappropriate and stupid reactions I have ever seen. Like this scene right here, the daughter's phone starts to act up, and instead of like doing any normal person behavior like resetting it or putting it down, she tries to look for a signal, and like, ma'am, your phone is not having signal issues, it is busted, throw it away. She follows, I guess, the voice or whatever that's coming from the phone, and it leads her to like the basement or a garage or something like that, and surprise surprise, a goopy little hand comes up from the ground and tries to grab her. Another moment was when the son was in his room, He hears the dolls moving around because he has dolls in his room because spooky movie, and instead of doing the normal person thing and getting the fuck out of there, he stays and looks for the sound as if to confirm his suspicion. And he's attacked. Shocker. And when he tries to tell the family about it, like the next morning or the same day, whatever, they don't believe him. Mind you, the scene before that, You had the family looking at their youngest daughter in front of like the TV screen, and she says something like they're coming, and then hands start coming from the other side to touch the screen. Yet they don't react to this or don't bring this shit up at all. I don't know about you guys, but if I saw this myself, I would have taken the family, jumped into the car, and on my way out, I burned the whole place down. I don't know, maybe I'm just overreacting. Maybe ghost hauntings aren't really that scary. Aside from this, there's nothing else to talk about. I mean, like I said, it's a generic ass movie. Aside from this, there's not a lot of things to talk about in this movie. Subplot points I brought up and then dropped for no goddamn reason as to build character or make us relate or like these characters, which fails horribly because that's not how you make a character relatable. And that's basically it. There's nothing else to it. Honestly, this movie is like any 2010s horror remake. It's made to capitalize on the iconic imagery and nostalgia behind it. It is soulless corporate greed personified. I guess if you're in the mood to watch a dumb, turn your brain off kind of horror movie, this one is it. But if you're looking for a horror movie with more substance, you need to look elsewhere. As for a rating, I guess I'm gonna give it like 5.5 out of 10. I don't really care, or it doesn't really matter that much. Like I said, the movie isn't bad to that extreme. Like, it had some good moments. However, they were far and few between, and the rest is just garbage. So yeah, that's basically it for me. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, hit me with a like, comment, do all the YouTuber stuff. And comment down below, did you watch this movie? Did you not? What do you think of it? All that bullshit, you know. Try to engage with the video is what I'm trying to say. And that's it for me. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.